All right, so we're on to lesson 9.3, and this one's the tough one, rotations. Because rotations are hard to visualize, so the rules are going to be much more important for this lesson. So a rotation is a transformation where a figure is turned around a fixed point called the center of rotation. The rays you draw from that center of rotation to the point, and that point's image is called an angle of rotation. We are only going to deal with rotations that are 90 degrees and multiples of 90 degrees. So, a rotation rotates an image or a point or a set of points around a fixed point. So these four rules are the rules we're going to use, and these are on your pink sheet too. Now, what I want you to understand is that by default, every rule is a rotation counterclockwise. If you have a negative rotation, that would be clockwise, but the default is counterclockwise. So these rules will be on your pink sheet, so I'm going to move to the examples on the back side of this page and just jump straight into a 180-degree rotation. Now, I'd like to always start by graphing the pre-image first, so we can label this however we want. And I should have labeled these, but the point that's 3, 1 is A, 3, 4 is B, 1, 1 is C. So what I'd like to do, since the rules are going to be very important, A is 3, 1, B is 3, 4, and C is 1, 1. And I want us to understand what a 180-degree rotation does. So I'm going to write out the rule. The rule translates the point XY, and all it does is it changes the sign of X and Y. Nothing gets flipped, okay? So the image of A is just going to be -3, -1. The image of B is just going to be -3, -4. The image of C is just going to be -1, -1. So the image of my points, point A, -3, -1 is A. -3, -4, that's B, image of B. -1, -1 is the image of C. So that represents a rotation around a fixed point, 180 degrees. So I'm going to use yellow just to show this. You look at C as a distance from 0, 0, it got rotated half a turn, 180 degrees. So that's what I'm getting at with a rotation of 180 degrees. Now, in example 2, we do what's called a composition. We do 2 transformations. So I'm going to, and this should be, the first point should be point R. 1, -3, 2, -6, R, S. So I'm going to list these points out because we're going to be doing 2 transformations. Start with R, start with S, and I'm going to translate to a point, and I'm going to use blue for the next point. Image of R, image of S. So it's understanding a reflection in the y-axis. What that's going to do is it's going to reflect us over the y-axis, so the vertical axis. So R is going to end up here, S is going to end up here. So this is a good review of our transformation rules from before. R, the image of R after reflection in the y-axis, is -1, -3. -1, -3, and then S becomes -2 and stays -6. So the last transformation is a 180-degree rotation, which all that does is that changes the sign of X and Y. It doesn't swap anything. So R becomes +1, +3. S becomes +2, +6. So 1, 3, and 2, 6. So that's R and that's S with 2 markings. So when we do two transformations, we do an initial transformation, and then we do another transformation of our transformation. So I'd like you to get in the habit of drawing 3 figures. We have the pre image, we have image 1 and image 2. So we're graphing 3 objects there. So just being aware of that. Now the practice introduces 90-degree rotations, which are a little bit tougher. So if you have questions on that practice, just let me know.